This is the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Hello, friends. John Solberg here, your host for the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Very excited to tell you that today's show is being brought to you by The Butcher Shop, purveyors of highly sought after 100% Australian non-crossbred Wylara 9 Plus briskets that are always handpicked just for you. The Butcher Shop has been retailing the finest meats for more than 15 years. Every single week, they're shipping out competition quality meats to many of the biggest teams in the competition scene across the nation. Simply put, teams who use the Butcher Shop win, and they win often. You may not be a competitor, but I know you deserve the finer cuts in life. There's great news for you. The Butcher Shop is shipping some of the finest prime, dry-aged Australian Wagyu and Japanese Wagyu steaks to people just like you and me who aspire to be the kings and queens of the backyard. The Butcher Shop always has Berkshire, Compart Duroc, Allegiance Duroc, and Prairie Fresh all-natural pork in stock. And again, it is always handpicked just for you. Now, you might be saying, John, all that sounds great, but I want to try something different. Rest easy. The Butcher Shop can get you something different. An oak steak, a camel roast. Who knows? Probably some alligator. You're going to have to give them a call and find out, and I'll tell you how to do that in just a moment. So, before we do that, let's review. The best competition briskets? Check. The best pork selection? Check. Giving you better overall options to cook at home? Check. So you give the Butcher Shop a call today, 850-458-8782. That's 850-458-8782. You mentioned the BBQ Central Show. They're going to give you 10% off your entire order each and every time you call. The Butcher Shop, home of the 100% Australian non-crossbred Wylara 9 Plus briskets. And what are we going to do today? Greg's going to catch up with Smoking in the Boys Room, Melissa Cookston.
My first guest tonight was just on 2 weeks ago, but we were talking more on the business side of the barbecue world. But tonight we resume our more traditional style conversation, the one where I interview her about whooping up on the competition at Memphis in May. They won it all in 2010, won whole hog in 2011, and won it all again this past weekend. Here to help me break it down is pitmaster of Yazoo's Delta Q, Melissa Cookston, joining me here on the show. Melissa, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Greg?
Hell of a weekend, yeah?
I tell you, I'm not sure if it's over or yet begun.
So, I mean, we have a couple different places we could probably start tonight. Do we need to address the fact, Melissa, that the show karma has once again proven itself as being a force even Mother Nature couldn't keep under control? How are you explaining this phenomenon to friends and family?
You know, I'm not sure, but I don't question it. I just ask for it.
That's what I'm talking about. We don't question it. We just ask for it and whatever happens. Now, for the folks that don't know maybe a lot about Memphis in May, it's a one-off event. It doesn't fall under the jurisdiction of MBN, but easily one of the most sought-after titles to win every year by a lot of teams. You and Pete, true vets to this contest in particular. When does the week start for you guys at this contest, and how much work really goes into this event for you and your team? Because I don't think a lot of people actually grasp what goes into the whole setup process before you even start competing.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was a little behind this year. We had Guy Fieri in the restaurant early in the week, so I didn't get to load in quite as quick as I wanted to and had to kind of scramble midweek to get my stuff together. You know, Memphis in May, you load in the week before, and you can only get trucks in till Wednesday. So it's kind of difficult to get all your stuff down the week before a comp.
Now, were you triple entering again this year, or was it just whole hog for you guys?
At Memphis in May, you can only enter one of the main categories.
Oh, that's right. I always get that mixed up for some reason. Okay, so it was obviously just whole hog for you guys. Is there a more in-depth process of hog selection when it comes to Memphis in May versus the other contests, or is it the same all the way through for you guys?
It's the same. You know, I'm a very firm believer in quality products, and, you know, I try to use the same vendor for everything that I do. I have been using Berkshire hogs. I get them from Newman Farms in Missouri. They've worked really well for me, and I stick with that guy all the way through. He's given me some winners.
So what size are you typically looking for when you're picking your hogs out? I
really like about a 180-pound hog. We did get a new trailer a couple months ago, and I got bigger cookers on it. So I decided to cook a bigger hog, and the hog that I cooked for Memphis in May was actually 216 pounds.
Wow, 216 pounds. So, I mean, what does that cost out? I imagine you're getting two of them, right?
Yeah, we bought two. I think I spent about $1,000.
Oh my Lord! So $1,000 just on hogs before everything else. Now, is there, or can you briefly explain this judging process that teams have to go through? I'm sure a lot of people are a little bit more like KCBS rules oriented or FBA rules. Memphis in May, a little bit different than the normal. So if you could just kind of give us a little pick me up on the rules.
Sure. In Memphis in May style, you have two types of judging in preliminary. You have blind judging, where you have 4 judges judging your box. And then you have 3 on-site judges, which come one at a time, and they stay approximately 15 minutes each.
So you're in
after that.
You're in 45 minutes on the on-site.
Yeah,
wow.
Typically they'll stay 15 minutes. You got about a 5-minute break between judges, so it takes a good hour.
Oh my Lord. Okay, so when you get the stop by that you have made finals, is it something that you know what? Let me back up just in advance of that question. You cooked the first hog. How did the cook go for you? Was there anything like out of the ordinary that you had to contend with during that portion of the contest?
No, I mean, we've been cooking hogs for 15 years, so we pretty much stay tried and true to what we do. So, everything came out as usual. It was a good hog.
Now, I'm not asking for secrets here, but I mean, I would imagine you're putting down like dry rubs, but are you also like injecting, or do you fill like cavities up with liquid, or how are you able to keep, because there's so many different muscles and meats, and you got the loins and the hams and the ribs and all this other stuff to keep it all kind of cooking together and then moist. What kind of a process is that in order to make sure that nothing is getting ahead of one of the other things?
Yeah, I cook my hogs running style, which is not predominant on the circuit. Most people cook them on their backs. But, I'm a firm believer in the way that we cook it. We can get more flavor to the meat. So we do a skinning process to be able to expose that meat, first of all. We do inject with a pork stock that we make from rib ends. And then we just put our rub on it. Put some yellow mustard on top of that and kind of massage that in. And believe it or not, we get so much more flavor that way than we would flipping it upside down.
What kind of a cooking time are you looking at for these hogs?
22 hours on that 216-pound hog.
Wow, 22 hours. All right, so big time investment. So the cooking process goes, just as normal for you guys. Is it something that when you're stopped by and you're told that you're going to be making finals that you're kind of coming to expect at this point, or regardless, is it always a nice surprise?
You want to know what Melissa had to say? You know what to do, but I'm going to remind you. Head on over to the BBQCentralShow.com. Complete show. Episodes, going to be a link in the show notes. There'll be a link for today. Head over to the BBQCentralShow.com. On the homepage, in the show notes, is a link to take you to this complete episode. That's not so hard. Go check that out. While you're over there, hit the search box, find a show you want me to cut up for you. Want to cut it up? Send me an email. I'm just going to start over on this whole thing. No, I'm not. I'm going to let it go. Hey, just going to let it go. Let it go. Until next time on The Best Moments, I'm your host, John Solberg. I can't wait to talk to you soon.